CinemaCon has ended, so let's talk about all of the updates we got for Avengers Doomsday. Starting off, we actually got an update to the Avengers Endgame re-release that is happening in September. We already knew that this was happening, but what we have now found out is that Marvel's also going to be adding the deleted scenes into the movie for the cinema re-release. They've also said there's going to be a few surprises as well added to the re-release, and obviously we don't know what those are right now, but my best guess is that it's going to turn out to be an exclusive look at Doomsday. Obviously we don't know what this exclusive look is going to look like, or even if it is an exclusive look, but my best guess is that it may be the first 5 minutes of Doomsday or something like this, because we know that Kevin Feige has also said that Doomsday picks up where Endgame left off, and Endgame obviously left off with Steve and Peggy together in the past, and obviously we have a lot of theories at the moment that Steve Rogers going back in time is what is going to be causing the incursions and kicking off Doomsday as a story. But obviously that is all rumour and speculation right now, which is not what I want to be talking about in this video, so let's talk about some of the stuff we definitely know. And the first thing I want to mention is the fact we have our first look at Doctor Doom. First of all, I am absolutely loving this costume. I am loving the detail of it. I also love that it looks really comic book accurate, which I love in Marvel movies whenever they go for a fully comic accurate costume, and this one is definitely doing that. I also think it's doing a really good job of looking very intimidating, which is something you definitely need for Doctor Doom as well. So overall, I am really happy with this Doctor Doom design. But now let's talk about the most important thing that came out of CinemaCon, and that is the Doomsday trailer. Obviously I have not seen it, I was not actually there myself, but I have seen a lot of descriptions about this and we need to talk about it because this trailer is sounding incredible. What I'm going to do is actually screenshot Brandon Davis's full description of this and put it here so you can read it for yourself if you want to, because he went into great detail about this, but I do want to talk about individual bits that he mentions in here. First up is the fact that when you hear Doom talk, apparently he has a slight accent, so it is looking maybe like RDJ is actually playing Doctor Doom, but at the same time I am still not convinced of this. I am still very much on my theory that he's actually a Tony variant, because obviously variants do have variations, so hence why they are variants, and I'm still very much leaning on this idea that Doctor Doom is actually a variant of Tony Stark for this movie. Obviously I'll be going into more detail on all of my theories in another video, but I did just want to point out that Doom apparently does have an accent in this trailer. Also, apparently Thunderbolt / New Avengers Tower has had an upgrade and it's got a few more spires and the new logo on it. Very excited to see that, but more importantly within this scene we apparently see the Fantastic Four meeting Bucky, Sam, and then also Thor and Scott Lang aka Ant-Man, and I am very excited for that and have been ever since we saw the end credit scene in Thunderbolts. I'm also really excited for this scene as well because it means we're going to see Bucky actually talk to Thor for the first time, because they've both been in the MCU for a very similar amount of time. They've shared scenes together, but they have never actually said a word to each other. So very excited to see that actual meeting go down, and also very excited as well on the Fantastic Four side to see Reed also meeting Bucky, Scott and everybody else. I'm really hoping we're going to see a moment where Reed geeks out over Bucky's metal arm and also Scott's shrinking tech, and then also seeing him react to the fact that he is talking to the actual Norse god of thunder. I think that will be a fantastic scene to see, and I'm really hoping all of those things happen, at least maybe within this scene or throughout the larger movie itself. We also have Thor narrating the rest of the trailer, and he says, "I have fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than any of us combined and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one. Everything that we sacrificed will be for nothing if we do not stand together. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters, but mark my words, we're going to need a miracle." And that is really setting up the threat of Doom, and also I think the incursions as well, because I do not believe that Doom is going to be the only threat in this movie. I do feel like incursions are also going to be a major part of this, with everything we have seen in terms of various other multiverse movies talking about incursions and the problems with incursions and everything else. And the fact that we're getting Thor actually admitting that he is scared is obviously really setting that up, because if you are scaring the god of thunder who has taken down Thanos and so many other people, this is going to be a major threat to the universe. Also, I love that we're getting this more serious Thor tone in this one, because while I love seeing Thor more jokey and lighthearted, I do feel like he works so much better as a more serious character. So I'm really glad that we're getting that tone with Thor again in this movie. We also see in this trailer an extension of the Fantastic Four meeting the Wakandans, which we previously saw in one of the teaser trailers. And specifically we see it's actually all of the Fantastic Four meeting Shuri and M'Baku and Namor, and also it's not actually the Void. I specifically thought it was the Void after that teaser trailer, just because of all of the dirt and the sand and everything else. It did look very Void-like, to be honest. But it turns out it's actually the ocean, and Namor has moved the sea out of the way, and they are actually surrounded by a wall of water, which first of all sounds like an epic scene to watch happen, to say the least. But also I am so excited to see the rest of the Fantastic Four meeting the Wakandans. I loved what I saw of Thing talking to M'Baku and Shuri, so I'm so excited to see the rest of the team meeting the Wakandans and Namor. And I am also really hoping that we are going to see a science team up between Reed and Shuri. I think that would be a fantastic scene to see. I love watching both of them do science and invent things and stuff, and I would really love to see them actually working together. We also got a few previews of a few of the fight scenes in this movie, including Shang-Chi versus Gambit, and this is something I have to see. It sounds like it's going to be a really fun and creative fight. I am also unsure why they're fighting, and I am hoping that it's maybe a mini Avengers versus X-Men before they all actually team up together to fight together. I don't know, but I'm still very excited to see this play out. I think that's going to be a very fun fight. We also see Yelena fighting herself, and it turns out that actually the double of Yelena is Mystique, and that just excites me more than I can possibly say, because I love Mystique. I've been excited about her return ever since she was announced to be in this movie, so I'm so excited to see her back in action again, especially against someone so trained like Yelena. Very excited for that. Very excited to see how that is all going to play out, and if Mystique is going to be taking on the form of anybody else in this movie. Very excited all round for that one. And then the main one is Doom versus Thor, and all we see of this is Thor throwing Stormbreaker at Doom and Doom stopping it with a hand, which just proves just how powerful Doom is and how big of a threat he's going to be if he is stopping Stormbreaker being thrown by Thor with a single hand. We just know that Doom is going to be one of the greatest villains we have seen so far, and that clip alone is definitely proving it. I cannot wait to see what else Doom is going to do in this movie. He is going to be formidable, I just know it. And we also have a couple of returning characters for this one. The first one I want to mention is Cassie Lang. We see her very briefly in this trailer with Scott, and Scott is kissing her forehead, and what I wanted to say about that is admittedly a theory, but I just want to put it out there right now, and that theory is I do believe that in this movie we are going to see the start of the Young Avengers forming, because we also know in this movie, thanks to Ian McKellen, that Magneto is going to be destroying New Jersey, and obviously who lives in New Jersey is Billy Maximoff and also Kamala Khan, and I feel like if New Jersey is destroyed like Ian McKellen is saying it's going to be, they're going to be getting involved, and hopefully they will also meet Cassie Lang. Maybe Kate Bishop will also get involved as well, because obviously Kamala has already recruited Kate and is looking into creating a team, and hopefully we will start seeing the start of the Young Avengers forming together. Obviously that is just theory, but that is something I am desperate to see within this movie. And then the final return is Steve Rogers. Obviously we already knew that from the teaser trailer, but we do see him a little more in this one. Apparently he is sporting a beard and longer hair, and we see him on the Fantastic Four ship, and specifically we see him saying "Hey pal" to Thor, Thor turning around and not believing it's Steve, and Steve proving it to him by basically calling Mjolnir to him, and that is where that clip ends. So very excited to see their reunion, to say the least. I did always love Steve and Thor's relationship throughout the movies, so very excited to see them reunite again, and hopefully to see Steve reunite with Sam and Bucky and a whole load of others. Maybe see for once and for all whether Red Guardian did actually fight Steve Rogers in the past, but we shall see. That probably won't happen, but I do expect we will be seeing a reunion between Steve, Bucky and Sam. And if that happens, one thing I am really hoping also happens as well is that we get a scene like this from the comics where Steve says, no, Sam is Captain America, I'm just Steve these days, because I feel like that is going to be a very important moment, and I do feel like it's going to really help cement Sam as Captain America of this new Avengers team, even though Steve is there. So very much hoping that a scene like this is going to happen in the movie. Outside of that, I am also hoping we see the return of Peggy Carter as well, because if Steve is here, I'm fully expecting to see Peggy as well, because obviously he is living with her in the past and she is almost certainly going to get involved in this as well. So fingers crossing that we're also going to see Peggy. Obviously, I don't know at the moment, we haven't seen that, but I can always hope. And that is everything we know from CinemaCon about Avengers Doomsday. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me a scene you are really excited to see in Doomsday. I would love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me, I'm going to say, a robot emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos where I'm going to be talking more about the MCU and Marvel comics, please click subscribe. But until next time everyone, bye!